Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I am Tori Lynn. Let's blossom today. Today we are continuing this series, the Rainbow Palette series, and we're moving on to the yellow palette today. This is the Mind palette, and one of you guys pointed out last week on the orange video that these palettes are themed after the Infinity Stones from the Avengers movies, and I felt really stupid after I read that comment because I just watched in the last week and a half all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, which is basically all the Avengers characters and all their movies and all the side Avengers, so like Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man and Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange and Black Panther on top of Iron Man and Thor and all those movies. So I watched 20 movies in the last week and a half where it's basically all about the Infinity Stones and them dealing with that. Yeah, didn't even pay attention, didn't even notice, had no idea until they pointed that out to me, and I was like, oh, they're totally right. What an idiot I am. So, thank you for pointing that out because it's actually kind of cool. I don't think I would have ever noticed. But anyways, today is the yellow palette, and of course it's the Mind Stone. They call these Gemstone palettes, but yes, it's the Mind Stone. So the front of the palette has the same look. It's got the gem in kind of a glossy look, and then the matte background. And then this palette's got the guy, I cannot think of what this piece of art is named, but you know, the guy with the limbs all stretched out. He's got a bunch of limbs. It's got him on there, and then of course the back has all the information. And then this is the inside of the palette. It's a beautiful palette. Love how it's got these really bright yellows. I'm going to want to dip into those for sure today. I'm a little bummed that the shimmery yellow in the middle is so dark. Honestly, it's either the same shade as the orange palette or it's maybe even darker. I was hoping for a yellow shimmer that was a little brighter based on the eye look that I had in mind, but we're going to try to make it work. I really want to use these shades, these two bright yellow shades, so I'm gonna try to make it work. And I want to use that gold shade because I didn't use it in last week's palette, so I really want to use it today. So let's go ahead. I think I'm gonna start the same way I did the last couple of times and throw on my foundation and my base and all that good stuff so we can jump right into the eye look. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got my Mind Stone palette here, and I'm ready to jump into it. So this palette doesn't have a creamy shade to set down my lids, so I guess I'm just going to skip that step. I don't love doing that. I typically like to set my lids, but, you know, only got so many shades to work with. So I'm going to start by taking this kind of slightly mustardy yellow shade right down here. And I think that's going to be kind of our crease transition shade. So I'm going to pop that right in the crease. Next, I'm going to take this really bright, sunshine yellow. Now, I know these two shades, this one up here and this one, look very similar in the camera. This one is matte and this one is like a shimmer. Not a glitter like this one, it's just more of a shimmer. So in this palette, these are all mattes and these are all mattes, and then this middle row is shimmer. And in the first palette, these are matte and these are matte and these were shimmer. Each one is set up a little different, but they always have the chunky glitter shade in the middle. But anyways, we're going to go in with the matte shade. And I'm going to sweep that over top of the shade that we just laid down. I just kind of want to start brightening it up, giving it a more sunshine appearance, kind of like I was originally thinking. I just wanted to start with that more mustardy shade to kind of tie in that gold like I was saying. So hopefully it'll all come together. It's definitely matching my shirt. So let's talk about Avengers, since these are technically a Marvel themed palette. I don't think this brand actually had any deal with Marvel because they're not called Infinity Stones. I think they were just kind of themed to look like them. Anyways, let's talk about Marvel. I'm not usually a big superhero movie person. I just don't really care for action movies a whole lot. I've liked a few here and there. Like, I like the Iron Man movies, but they're not my favorite movies. They're not one I would choose to watch unless somebody else that I was with was like, hey, let's watch this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, you know, I'd seen them a couple times throughout the years, but they're not movies I've watched a whole lot or chose to watch. And the same with Thor. I like the first Thor, but like, it's not one that I would choose to watch on my own. And so there were several movies I hadn't seen. I hadn't seen a couple of the Avengers movies. I hadn't seen Avengers Age of Ultron. I hadn't seen the very last movie, Endgame. But I talked about this in a vlog like last week or the week before. And anyways, my husband convinced me to watch them in timeline order because Disney Plus now has Marvel movies on there, and they have a section where you can watch it in timeline order. And I actually really enjoyed that because it all made a lot more sense. Watching them, you know, here and there and different, you know, characters and whatever, I didn't realize how they all connected. And watching them in timeline order made them all connect and it all made sense. Now I'm going to take that shimmery bright yellow shade. So yeah, watching in timeline order definitely made me enjoy it a lot more. Just because it all made a lot more sense, and I didn't really expect to actually enjoy it, but I binged the crap out of them. I finished all 20 videos in like a week basically, and oh my gosh, Endgame, I won't spoil anything for you if you haven't watched it, but oh my gosh guys, the ending to that movie, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. How it all comes to an end, and I bawled my eyes out. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, there's gotta be some way around this. Like, this can't happen. Like, oh my gosh. Like, no, I was not prepared. I'm one of those people that I like to know what's gonna happen before it happens. My husband is not. He does not want any spoilers. Do not tell him what's gonna happen. He does not want to know. And I'm like, tell me, I want to know. Like, I'm one of those people that I will read the last few pages of the book before I get close to finishing it. Because I want to know what happens, and he's not like that. So I was not prepared, and I bawled like a baby. My husband, I was sitting in the living room, of course, watching it. And I stayed, but it was a work night, which luckily I don't have to be to work until later in the afternoon. Side note, this stuff packs on really weird. Now, I don't know if it would pack on better. Oh, packs on way better with a finger. So I've been sitting here struggling, trying to use this brush. I think I'm just going to go for the finger because it was getting really patchy and weird with the brush. Anyways, I was sitting in the living room watching it. It was a work night. I stayed up to I thought it was only a 2-hour movie. No, it's like a 3-hour movie. He was up playing video games in the dining room because that's where he has his video game set up because we live in a small apartment. I'm watching it and we get to the end of the fight scene and all that stuff happens. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. And then people are crying on the movie, and then I start crying, and I can't hold back my tears. I'm not typically one to cry during movies. Like, yeah, sure, that's sad, and I might, have a little bit of welling up in my eyes, and a little bit of tears well up, or whatever. These were, tears running down my face. I wasn't sobbing, but, I had tears. They just kept coming. For, the whole end of the movie, I had tears running down both sides of my face. My eyes were burning. I had that, lump in my throat. Oh my gosh. Obviously, it had to end that way. There's no way around it. Doctor Strange said so himself. But, why? It just, I don't know. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready for it. But the movie was good. I actually ended up watching it again 2 nights or a night later. I think it was 2 nights later. Just because I feel so much happened in that movie that I needed to rewatch it to take it all in. So that's what I did. One night when my husband was at work, I rewatched it. I love that bright yellow. That shimmer is so fun. I wish it would pack on a little bit better with the brush. I don't really love using my finger to put shadow on just because I can't get as precise with my finger, but it is what it is, Shimmers are just kind of stubborn shades. You could probably wet down your brush with some setting spray. I don't always love doing that just because I feel then I have that product caked into my brush and I don't clean my brushes enough. I feel I need to use that gold shade, right? I love how this is looking now, so maybe I'll just do a little bit as like an accent versus like when I did the red look and I totally coated my lid in that red, which is what I was initially thinking when I was planning this, but I was expecting it to be more this shade, not this darker gold. So I'll just kind of add some accent of gold on it. See, I made it way darker than I was planning. Although the weird thing is to me, it looks way oranger in the viewfinder than it does in person. In person, everything, like the whole eye looks a lot brighter, a lot less orange. Even my shirt looks a lot less orange than it does on camera. Like my shirt to me is like a goldenrod mustard, and on the camera it looks like a true like orange. I don't know. And maybe it won't look like that when I play back the film. I guess we'll find out. So I don't love that as much. I liked it better without that gold on it, I think. But I feel like I had to use it, especially because I didn't use the very similar shade last week in the orange palette. So now I want to take this bright kind of white shimmer shade. It's not quite white, it's more of a cream. And I'm going to pop that right on the inner corner. First I need to sweep away some baking or the fallout of that glitter. I don't have any fallout from any of the other shades, but you know, that chunky glitter shade's always going to give me a little bit of fallout. Now I'm going to take that shade and pop it on the inner corner. Have you guys been watching WandaVision on Disney Plus? Because that's actually a pretty good series too. I watched the first episode a while back with my husband when it first came out. And I didn't know Wanda and Vision because I hadn't seen the last Avengers movie. And it's been a really long time since I had seen Infinity War. And so I just did not remember who Wanda and Vision were. And I hadn't watched Age of Ultron. So like I just didn't know the characters. I didn't know the backstory. I did not know what was going on. So I watched the first one with them and then I was like, this isn't for me. But now, because I watched them, I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. Now I understand what's happening. It all makes sense. And now I want to take the bright yellow matte shade, and I'm going to use that to do a little bit of smoke on the under eye. I want to keep the bottom side a little more bright yellow, since the top had to get a little more orangey mustard yellow. I cannot believe that we are in March already. Like, February went by so unbelievably fast. It's crazy. Okay, so now I think I'm pretty much done. I don't really think I want to do anything else to the eyes, except for, of course, the lashes on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my skin and throw my lashes on, and then I'll be back to put on a lip with you guys. Okay, now I've got my lashes on, and I even threw some mascara on my bottom lashes, which I haven't done in forever. It used to be something I did every day, no matter the look. I had to do it. And then I've kind of grown into like not doing it at all. And I don't know why. Just, you know, it's one of those things. It's, with makeup, you go through phases of stuff, and that's one of those phases, I guess. It's not quite that bright, happy sunshine yellow I was thinking, but it is really pretty. It's very like summer, spring vibes. I'm really feeling them. The lashes are really tied together, and I actually really like having those bottom lashes done. I might start bringing it back into some of my makeup looks. I don't know. But let's go ahead and jump into the lip. So I'm kind of thinking of course it's nude. Imagine that. That's like all I ever do, right? Don't really have any yellow lip products, so that's out the window. But I was thinking this lip combo from Ish. ISH. I always feel weird saying that. I always feel like I'm not saying like a full name. But the company is called Ish. So it's the lip line and the I think it's Hydra Gloss? Yeah. Hydra Gloss. The lip liner's in the shade #I'm smoking hot. And the Hydra Gloss is in the shade called Luster. But it's a really pretty pink mauve color. I went through a phase this last summer of wearing this a lot. And then I wear the liner occasionally, but I think it's a very pretty combo, and I think that the color will really look good with the eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this liner on. Yeah, I really like that lip color. I was kind of debating on doing the same lip gloss, but then a different lip liner, one that was a lot lighter and more pale. But then I was like, you know what, let's just go with that lip set. I think it'll look really pretty. So let's go ahead and throw on the Hydra lip gloss. And then again, this is in the shade called Luster. And it's a very sheer, super, super sheer pink gloss. It's not super sticky or anything. It's almost more like a lip oil. But, yeah, just a really sheer pink. I was wearing this a lot back in the kind of beginning or middle of the pandemic, quarantine, under my mask and stuff. When I was going places with my family, but I knew I had to wear a mask, I'd throw this on because it would give my lips just a little bit of color and a little bit of gloss, and hydrating. Stuff's really hydrating. But I didn't want to wear an actual lip product. I love that lip combo. I think that Hydra Gloss just tops over stuff really pretty. It makes just like this pretty gloss look. But overall, I'm actually really happy with this makeup look. And I wasn't sure when I popped that palette open and that gold was darker than I wanted. Wasn't sure how it was going to go. But overall, I think it's really pretty. Super fun. Gives me all the summer vibes, and I'm so ready for the sunshine and warm weather. I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you probably all are. But we're here in March now, so, that's something to look forward to, something exciting. So, anyways, guys, next week will be the, green palette, I guess. So next week will be the green palette. So hit the subscribe button so you guys can stick around and check that video out. I have a playlist of this whole series, and I will link that down below. Let me know what you think about this look. If you like this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.